Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the bronze medal final between Australia and Samoa. Now, Samoa seems an interesting choice for some of their selections here. I see that Matavao here is off the bench. I know that he took a head knock in the last game, so that does make sense. But Steve on his side, coming off the bench, he is one of the informed players for Samoa. I would have thought they would consider starting him for this game, but they have still got a very capable lineup in this matchup up against Australia. But it is Sione Vawasa Afa Motu Opitai gets the start in this game. Then it is Va'a Apilo Maliko. He has been absolutely phenomenal in this 7 series so far. Then also Falaniko Sautui Huta. And then it is going to be Aifeta Purcell, who is slotting in there as the last name in the Samoan starting lineup. Then for Australia in this game, Nick Maloof, Henry Patterson, Michael Isley, a name that we haven't seen too much throughout the 7 circuit. Then Maurice Longbottom in that starting lineup. He's come off the bench a majority of the time throughout this tournament in the Vancouver region as well. But then Dietrich Roach, he is in the starting lineup. Corey Toole, he has been great, and he will be starting in this game. And then it is going to be Timothy Clements, who does slot in there as the last man in the starting lineup. But Matavao, I'm hoping he is all right, because I know that, like I mentioned, he took that head knock, not last game, but the game before. And it did seem like maybe he wouldn't have been able to continue in the 7th circuit. We know that Perry Baker's already had that concussion that knocked him out a little bit earlier on. But Samoa sitting there 16th on the world rankings compared to Australia, who are second. But as Samoa play more games, they will slowly keep on propelling themselves forward. The last 5 times that these two sides have played, it's actually always been Australia, with the last one being in Singapore, 26 points to 17 in the favour of the Australians. Although the way that Samoa played in their last game, I feel like they'll be hungry to really improve, as it wasn't their best performance, and it certainly won't be their last in the 7th circuit. We will get to see plenty more of Samoa as they keep on developing. They had 9 debuts for themselves in this tournament, and they were just continuing on. In fact, it was last week Singapore that they had the 9, and some of them carrying on. And hey, howdy, hey, y'all, says Katie Dixon. Welcome. And what time is it in the US, Katie? Do let me know, because I have lost track of my time zones again. But I think you are sitting close to evening, aren't you? If I'm not wrong. But currently now, there are a whole heap of people in attendance for the Vancouver Sevens. It is awesome to see. But Samoa and Australia, this game will also be a very epic one between the two sides. But Australia making their way out there. They were unable to get into the semi-final of the last competition, I want to say. I think they ended up missing out. Unfortunately, Australia, they had a tough draw. But Samoa, this is the first time that they've been through to a bronze medal final in a very long time, and they will be looking forward to getting the opportunity to take down Australia. But for that to happen, it's not going to be an easy one. But the referee and judge, I've just realized I said but about 50 times in that last little while. It's fair to say I'm a bit excited about this game. These two sides are going to go at it. And Australia, they've got some big boys in the form of the likes of Nick Maloof. Also, they're going to have Henry Patterson in the starting lineup. Hutchison coming off the bench, I think, could be a bit of a super sub for them. And also Ben Ma, who is very impressive indeed. But now Samoa getting ready to receive this kickoff in this matchup. And also at 6:27 p.m. in the high desert, Amish. And yes, here's Katie Dixon. Oh, in fact, sorry, Dietrich Roach will be kicking off this one now for Australia. And we are underway for this bronze medal match. Whoever wins it gets the bronze. It's going to be knocked backwards. Nicely done by Samoa. That time it was knocked on, though. Seems like the advantage is now over. Australia going to be hanging on to this ball. Nice little cellular dummy. Couple extra meters made, and that was the number 5 for this one, Timothy Clements. I'm going to have to look at a few of these names for these guys, because I know that I don't think I've seen too much of him so far. Now it's a good run forward from Nick Maloof. Samoa straight over the ball wins the penalty. Beautifully done by Motu Opitai. Now taking the quick tap, trying to get that front football going here for Samoa. Almost finds the offload. It's going to be down. It's a knock on advantage. Corey Toole trying to run away from Opitai. It does drive him backward very nicely. It's another penalty. And Abra, how you doing? Also, let's go, Manu Samoa. And there says Chris. But Corey Toole, I think he got a knock on the nose there. Now, the way that he described the game up against, I believe it was Australia-Argentina, when they interviewed him after his last match, they were like, how are you going to prepare? How are they different? And he was like, yeah, they're like more fast, I think was the comment that he made, or something along those lines, which is very true. Argentina, a very quick team. Corey Toole, man of few words, but he does speak the language of sevens, and he plays that extremely well. Now up to the 22. It's a brilliant, tell you what, someone's got to drag down whoever that was. I think it must have been actually Michael Isley. No, it was Patterson. I keep on mixing up those guys who we haven't seen too much of. Dietrich Roche goes through, and he's going to score the first try of the match for Australia. Gets it between the sticks, and Australia, after a minute and a half, to reward themselves with their very first try of the game. Yeah, I'm confusing a couple of my players. Big Henry Patterson, it was his brilliant run going forward, and just running straight over the top of Sautui Huta. And also tried to try, and also who's your pick for the final? I have predicted in my preview that I did that Fiji would win it. And I said that Fiji would win it 33 points to 12. You'll have to wait and see whether or not that is going to be correct. Probably not. I'm normally terrible at predictions, but yeah, I went 33-12 for my prediction of that one. Kicks that one nicely over. And Dietrich Roche does add the extra 2. So now the score will be 7-0. Most series points at the moment. He is well ahead of Terry Kennedy, well ahead of Corey Toole. I believe Corey Tools have all come from tries, which is very impressive. And I am ahead of everyone. I'm Trish. Sorry, as I said, Katie Dixon. Don't worry, I didn't even realize, to be honest. I feel like that's the thing with Sevens. It's a lot harder to balance chat than it is with the union, because you're pretty much watching right until something happens, and then you look over. Well, that one as well. So it's all good. And now currently Samoa, they've got this ball inside of their 22, wide whip and pass. They won't be kicking it, I wouldn't be thinking. And now it's a good run from Falaneko. Now looking to the short side, unable to get through with Sautui Huta. And Samoa, they just seem trapped at the moment a little bit. Sione going to be wrestled down, still available at the back. Purcell fires it across the left. And I feel like this is where they feel they would need Matavao, although it's a good backline movement. Corey doing a foot race. It's nicely done. But Corey Doe, he's got pace. But has he got enough to cut him off? I think he does. He got fended again. He gets one more. And Samoa score. And it was Afa. Well, sorry, it's not Afa. It's Va'a Apilo. He is an absolutely phenomenal talent. And he's just pretty much pushed Corey Toole in the face about 4 times in a row. Boom. Big fend on the chest. Corey Toole, he knew that he was going to need the foot race and all of his stamina. Then he gets fended in the face, got him off balance. And then it was a beautiful try for Apilo Maliko. And I was going to okay, we will let you off. And as I says, Petty Wagon, but he has been scoring a lot. I've just realized my frame rate. No, it's all right now. My frame rate looked really bad there for me. I don't know whether that was just me. And I'll try and control my hysteria. And as I says, Katie Dixon, but that is a nice kick just away to the side, though. And I was like, let's go, Manu. There's Donovan. They're looking very good at the moment, Manu Samoa. That is for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing them not just in action for the Sevens, but also the Rugby World Cup 2023. They have qualified, and it's a nice kickoff. It's going to go just the 10, and it's picked up once again. And now that's pace for Samoa. Ball on the inside. Oh, no. Dietrich Roche has gone down with his ankle tap. He ankle tapped himself, and Sautui Huta does score the try this time for Samoa. They get another one, and they are absolutely loving it. But the youngster, India Sautui Huta, does end up scoring the try. It went up. Brilliantly done off the restart for Samoa to be able to retain their own kickoff. And also score is broken. It is a bit, isn't it? It's gone to sleep. There we go. And that was silky with a 10 out of 10. There's Katie Dixon, but nicely done by Samoa. Sautui Huta does score right at the end of the first half, and that will give Samoa confidence going into the second now. Kicked off straight down the middle for that conversion attempt, and now with 1 minute 50 left, I swear that was halftime. I don't know why I thought it was halftime. I think it's because this game feels like it's flying by at 1,000 miles an hour. Australia defeated Samoa 26-17, and Singapore only meeting this series. And there as well, that is the information that it has given us. So Samoa would love to be able to get themselves a win, definitely without Matavao and Onisai. And now, will this be Samoa's first medal? Says Jamie, I know it would be their first medal for a very long time. I can't quite remember if they did have one back in the day. But even like since 2019 or so, it will definitely be their first, as we've hardly seen them in action. This is why you take a break and come back. And as I said, Betty Wagon. And there, but now that is going to be close to the touchline. Just stays in. Are we talking about the fact that the Sevens, that's the other side of it. The Sevens setting up the scoreboard does take a little bit of time overall. Close to the touchline. So that is why sometimes it is easier to do multiple different ones. Not able to keep that ball in the field of play there. It was Darby Lancaster, sorry. On completion at the moment, only 60% for Australia. That is not very high at all. Sione gets the ball at the back of this line out now, using it very nicely. Yes, Samoa running it straight sideways, ball on the inside. And then there's a Pelo Maliko. He is certainly a future talent. The no-look offload over the top, and it works out for Samoa. Now back in the hands of Sautui Huta. Not quite able to go through. Still on the hands of the Samoans, though. Brilliant step. This is close. Sione finds the offload, and Samoa score it again. It's going to be Opitai. It looked like he hurt himself a little bit there in the running process, and I think he's done his ankle, but he looks like he should be all right to continue this match. Thanks, sir, for the announcement. Thanks for your time. You can do it. And as Al says, Donovan, I appreciate you being here, mate, because at the end of the day, the Sevens isn't the same without you guys being in the chat. And we are going to be doing the next game between Fiji and also Argentina. And again goes Samoa, and also try Samoa as well. But Sione offloading it up nicely to Opatai, who did score it. Yeah, it looks like his ankle, the left ankle, I would say it was. So if I was Samoa, I wouldn't risk him, but it looks like he's going to be all right for halftime anyway, which is going to be now. And Samoa have got themselves a 19 points to 7 leads, while they have come back and just smashed it. And there's his Petty Wagon. Exactly right. Like, the Samoan side has been out of action for so long. They came back and they just look like top contenders. And I truly believe that they will win a 7 series at some stage in the near future, because they just seem to have that class. They have the heart and the passion of the Pacific Islands, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in the near future. But currently now, just waiting for halftime. And it is going to be, after halftime is finished, only 22 minutes until the final in Samoa. And I'm back to the top as well, says Chrisio. Exactly right. Like, I can see them getting into a final. I don't want to predict too strongly, but I want to say maybe if it's not the next one or the next one after that, I can see them in the final in the next 3-7 circuit, I will say, or the next 3-7s legs. As I think they will win one next one, or win the next one, says Petty. And that's the thing, as long as they've got Matavao and Onisai, this is such a young side. Half of these guys no one had heard of before the 7 series. And they just look like they've been playing for years. And Samoa got the mojo back as well. And there says Chris. Currently now, the Samoan Rugby Union, they will be very happy with the performance that the Sevens have been able to bring out of these Samoan-born players. Corey Toole, he'll be nervous in this game because he started so well, but then unfortunately he's just had a couple fins to the face, and that's really lost his mojo, I guess you could say. So don't think it would feel too nice getting offended in the face by a Samoan, or anyone for that matter. But kickoff is about to be upon us, and it will be Samoa kicking off the second half. Star of the first half's got to be Pelo Maliko once again, but also Sautui Huta doing nicely. And also, Gangster's Paradise still slaps y'all in there. There's Katie, but straight away, it's going to be the hands of Australia. And speaking of Corey Toole, he's going to be going straight through, and it's a good opportunity for him trying to find the link-up pass on the outside. And he just does that. I realize the scoreboard is extremely ahead, but that is going to be the try for Australia. And Clements gets it between the posts, and let's go. And there says Richard as well. Now the score, brilliant start to the second half. I don't even think my coverage is that far behind. It's just they literally updated it pretty much as it happened. And also we have got the sounds from Katie Dixon, but that was a good run from Corey Toole. Found the wide pass, and Warriors lost 22-14. There's still hope for the boys. They're probably not a terrible result up against the Roosters, who were like $1.20 favourites, I believe it was. Australia now, they have got the opportunity to try and convert this one, and they do just that, making the score 14 points to 19. I think whoever's doing the score must be a big Australian fan, because they added that try almost before it was even scored. As soon as they score, or as soon as they saw Corey Toole have a line break, they were like, yep, he's scoring. That'll do. Now currently 6 minutes left in this half. And also thanks, boys, for bringing our country to the top again. I appreciate whatever results. Keep a work, and look forward for the next one. I love you all. And there for Samoa. Yeah, that's the thing. Samoa is a side I hadn't watched too much of their sevens in the past, just because they weren't actually around right when I started watching sevens, because that was at the Tokyo Olympics. But I am not going to take my eyes off the Samoan team now for the tournaments to come. And I'm the only one that seems to back them as well. Says Patty there. Now going to be firing this one back across for Samoa. Nice step by Sione, but currently still inside of the 22 here for Samoa wide. sling and cut out pass once again, and it seems to be a tactic that all of the sides in the Sevens tournament have been using. But that's a late tackle on him. He had kicked it, and then from there he did end up with another guy on him, but because of it, Samoa almost unable to get the turnover. Hard done by there, I think, for Fa'a. Apilo Maleko now looking for the gap. Dietrich Roach looking for the right offload option, and he does find the hands of the try scorer. Now waiting for this chance to go straight through. I'm looking for Stu Dunbar, but I don't think he's actually playing in this competition. More likely, that's going to be the penalty to Samoa. Instead, Nathan Lawson is the man who got penalised, but I will be back after, or I'll back them after the start. They are showing as well, says Betty Wagon. Yeah, hopefully, that's the thing. I guess it's more satisfying for you backing the Warriors from the very get-go and being able to follow them throughout the whole competition, knowing that you were one of those people who were right there at the start. Whereas if they do well, there's going to be a lot of people who all of a sudden whip out that old Warriors kit that they've had sitting in the closet for 5 years ago. Yeah, backing them the whole time. Purcell kicks it for touch from 50 metres out now. It is going to be the line-out opportunity for Samoa. Purcell, we have to make sure that this one goes right. But this is without Steve Onisai on the field. And it seems like they've still got plenty of talent. I see that Falealagi is out on the field now as well for the Samoans. So a couple early subs being made, almost stolen in the air. But Samoa have got it on the halfway line now, sitting 40 metres out from their line. And they are continuing to go backwards. Now they're only about 30 metres out. But out wide to Fa'a. Apilo Maleko just throwing that ball. There was a trip there on one of the Samoans. He went down. Dietrich Roach just knocked the ball on. I think that could be a shoulder injury as well for Dietrich Roach. So any sevens next week, please, says Donovan. Sadly, there aren't actually going to be any sevens this weekend, but after that, it is going to be the week after. We have got the women's sevens in Canada, and then another week after that, I believe it is going to then be the Australian, or not the Australian, sorry, the Toulouse, I think it is in France, the next one. But any sevens that is on, we are covering it on the channel. As many games as we physically can. Gave up on the NRL. Officiating is so terrible. And as I said Lennox here, there are a lot of 50-50 ones that somehow don't equal 100 in the NRL, unfortunately. But now down the wing, close to the line now, wrestled down only 5 metres out. And Samoa, I should mention, are only playing with 6 men. They find the penalty there, though. And man, that last try was a bummer. The ref didn't even call out the knock-on by the Australian team close to the touchline. And now Samoa, one more attacking chance here, possibly before the yellow card comes back. Definitely if he uses up more of the time, breaking the tackle there, it is going to be Apilo Maleko. He has been an absolute sensation for Samoa since making his way into the side. Now backline movement, looks like it could be on to the left-hand side. Samoa just trying to get a little bit of restructure going. It doesn't matter how much time they use up here because they are down to 6 men anyway, so the longer it takes, the better. Still going to be available at the back. On the 22, a little bit of a counter-ruck coming from from Australia there. Thanks, have a good one. As I said, Donovan, you too, mate. Now, Samoa looking to get themselves over the try line. It's in slow motion currently, but it's not going too badly for the Samoans. It's going to be play on. They have still held on to this ball pretty much for the full 2 minutes that they've been down to only 6 men. It's going to be the advantage. No, it's not. He has taken that away pretty quickly. Now, Purcell having to run it backwards. Still slowly building Samoa. This is extremely strategic from the Samoans and a brilliant rugby brain. Kicked with the grubber. It is going to be play on. That one was not so much smart for Samoa because now they have given up the ball to Australia and they will have to try and work it back. It's a penalty to Samoa. That works. They will get that one straight back and up the Warriors. And there was some Fred Astaire behavior in there as well, says KT. And there's a little tiny emoji. Is that a man doing the disco? I'm not too sure. I can't quite see what it is. But now, it was the kick in behind. I believe it was actually by their number 4 Samoa, Motu Opitai. Backed himself to be able to go through the gap. Was unable to do so. Right. 1 second left for Samoa of their card. Do they get to bring the man back out there? Not quite. They're going to have to wait for just 1/2 of a second. Currently, we are sitting about 12 minutes through this game. Only 2 minutes left. In fact, less than 2 minutes. 1 minute and 37 seconds. The next game that we are covering on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, will be the matchup between Fiji and Argentina. Should be a very exciting one. I do see now that they are making a sub, and it's actually going to be Apilo Maleko that they've taken off the field. So Lee has got a whole heap of Samoan flags there, and currently they are hanging on 5 points difference. Samoa, can they do it? They're versing number 2 in the standings, Australia. So a win here would be absolutely huge for them. Now it is going to be Pelosi Taupo. We haven't actually seen too much of him throughout Samoa Sevens campaign, but I would say that is because he is the replacement for probably Onisai and also Matawalko. Samoa, says Desler, currently hanging on to this one. Purcell, they're back to full strength of the 7 men. Sione tries to pop to the short side, doesn't quite open it up. Now trying to go straight over the top of long bottom, wrestled down nicely. Australia, their defense has been solid throughout this game, but if Samoa get one more try, you'd have to argue that they will win this game. Trying to step through. That was a big shot there. And it was just under the shoulder as the call from the referee. It looked relatively high. Now Samoa still have this ball in hand. And now it's going to be a great step from Sautuihuta. Oh, what a tackle. That is absolutely brilliantly done by Derby Lancaster. And that is a match-saving tackle there for Australia. Well, Lancaster, how did he stop him here? Just reaching out, gets the foot on the line and puts him into touch. Very nicely done. Now it is going to be the line out here for Australia. Still 42 seconds left in this game, and there is another stoppage just for closing the gap a little bit there for Samoa. Long bottom. It's such an important throw. This is going to be a close finish, I can already tell, and hopefully it is going to be a thrilling one after this game. Like I mentioned, the final, Fiji. Australia on a 5-game win streak against Samoa is another stat that they've just put up. But Fiji versus Argentina will be the next game that we are covering on the channel, and that is the final in the last game. It's over the top. Oh, Samoa put it down. Now Australia have got the counter-attacking opportunity. It's going to be Henry Patterson. Dragged down, 30 seconds left. Still available for long bottom. Now going back across. I don't believe I see a Henry Hutchison on the field yet, but Corey Toole, he's got pace, passes it off on the inside. Currently just trying to dodge a couple more tackles. Lancaster being dragged down. If Samoa win themselves a penalty, you'd have to argue that that would be the win for them, as there's only 5 seconds left on the clock now, but the ball is out wide, and it is going to be another attacking opportunity. There is Henry Hutchison. Now Patterson driving up to halfway. Samoa unable to turn that ball over. Hutchison once again goes back. This one is going to be a final minute thriller for Australia and Samoa. Corey Toole with a step. He goes round. Great low tackle on him by Alpha. Now a whole heap of numbers on the outside for Australia. How much stamina do they have left, Samoa? Because Hutchison moves up to the 22. They are still waiting. Like they say, one try, and this game will be possibly going to extra time, which would be quite cool to see now that I think about it. Maybe we take that option. They do have to try and score it between the posts, Australia, if they do want a good chance of getting the conversion over, like they're saying, phase after phase here for Australia. The final play of the match. Ball on the outside off to Henry Patterson. They're just trying to stop them, but they haven't been able to get that ball back, Samoa. It is persistent defense. Now long bottom steps. Long bottom advances, and it's off, and it's going to be the try for Australia, and they take it right in the depth, but it is a kick to come. Nathan Lawson scores it, and this will be one of the most important kicks for long bottom around. And that is going to make it 19-all. If he gets this, Australia win. If he misses this, we go to golden point or extra time. And I watched a few league games, and there was a fight every 16 seconds, and the commentators were like, oh, this is what happens when the rest don't do their jobs as well. Says Katie Dixon, and so that's the one, baby. The up from Katie Dixon. Long bottom. He gets it straight down the middle, and Australia do it right at the last moment. They will win this one. 21 points to 19, I should say. The referees are bad. They're well in for the field, says Hanoi. Yeah, they were only just out from their own line, and Australia just kept on going. Fair play, though, to Samoa, because they are certainly going to be contenders. Today wasn't their day, but it's a close game up against Australia, and closer than the first game that the two sides played. I don't know if my voice is going to stick around for this last match, but hopefully it does. And Richard's not too happy. Yeah, so close, yet so far away for Samoa in that one. Australia had a serious Disney moment. They certainly did. Long bottom nails the kick. And because of it, it does mean that Australia were able to win this game by the 2 points. But nonetheless, we have got 5 minutes till the next game gets underway. That will be the exciting matchup taking place between Fiji and Argentina. And we will be covering it on the channel. That was a good game, Cesar score. It certainly was a close one right down to the wire. And either side could have gotten themselves the win in the end. But this time it goes to Australia. Will it go to Australia next time, though? That is probably the big question. And what a finish says EYZ. And there as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport as well. It is our second channel. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers at some stage this year. So if you do want to help us out, please do. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all in a very short moment. Also, any chance you can stream the NRL today at the Eels? And he says, Xavier, hang on, I will have a quick look and see what we are doing. It probably depends on what time George goes home overall, though, because he is going to be coming out, I believe, straight after this, and I'm not too sure how much filming we're doing today. But if he is, 5 hours, how much time does that give me? That's only a 6 o'clock game, isn't it? So it'll be 50-50, but if George ends up going home and gives me enough time to prepare, I will be sure to do it, Xavier. If not, hopefully next week for more NRL. I feel bad for missing so much NRL. But yeah, it is George's only free day to film for this long weekend, other than yesterday, which we didn't actually get much filmed at all. And what a game of footy, says Tesla. And also, do you give the RGs any hope, or is it like playing the Crusaders, says Hanaway? As long as Argentina don't let it get in their head that they're versing one of the best, if not the best, seven side in the world, they should be all right. But we're going to have to wait and see. But we will be transferring over to that very soon. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all